Right, I'm hoping this is the maiden voyage of a stone picker that actually does resemble a stone picker. I've been busy, I have, since earlier. I think yeah, this was the only one that was sort of like slightly wrong. I'm thinking I might still not have all of the effects quite right. Yeah, there's a little bit, yeah, I still need to do a bit more. It was made for a 6 meter, so I'd got enough of like a work area for this, but it should actually work now. Still got to do that thing, it's going over the back. Yeah, it's so my work area, yeah, my work area is wrong then for the 9 meter, but it is actually working properly, and I shouldn't hit anything now on the right or the left. It was mainly that, yeah, that's proper now. This was the side where it kept on walloping things. So really, I should, if I've done this right, yeah, that's literally hitting where it should be. So I have fixed it. All I need to do now, because this is the biggest of all three, is yeah, let's have a bit of fun with this. Let's just grab the 6 meter. This is more like in the realms of mod testing, because we have actually got the 9 meter. So I'm going to sort of, I'll keep doing this wrong. Why am I not remembering my... Have I actually not got store deliveries right? I did this earlier actually wrong as well. I'm forgetting me when we... Hang on, where... It's on. Why am I not like getting me side panels not working? Hang on a minute. It's done this before. So when you focus, it's not on the actual window. The actual, try that now. Yeah, it's really weird. Right, okay. So let's try that again, because it should now, if I do it the right keys, actually work. Let's just lease one of the 6 meter, because this one should be about right. Oh no, it's mine. Oh, I've left the background on. My bad. Yeah, let's like lease. Ooh, yeah. I know we could afford to buy one. That's not really the point. So I need to like fix me. This should be about right. Should be, but again, this is sort of now in the realms of mod testing in a way. I've not quite got my diffusers right. The holes are not too bad on this one actually. They seem to fit this one a bit better. Let's have a look. Is this going to be like better? Like, is it the work area going to be as it should? Oh, I keep forgetting you have to be actually on the... Yeah, the main work on this is the front lifter itself. So if I get that right... Yeah, still need a bit more even on these. Yeah. We're picking everything up. Yeah, it seems to be... Yeah, now that is actually not far off. Now the beauty of this is you can do this at very great speed. I still not quite got it right, but I'm not far off. Yeah, it seems to be missing a bit on the right hand side. A little. Yeah, I love this one, and obviously this is based upon a very similar one to FS22. It's not... Yeah, I mean, it's my own invention, I've got to be honest. This literally was looking at the work area of a stone picker and then like grabbing the same in my own stone picker. Scrunching a bit. This is what I said the weakness was as well. With the bigger it goes, the more you get curves in your fields, the more it's going to play with this. But yeah, I just wanted to... the other thing is, it is going to get heavy, and I like that. But because it is what it is, you can sort of... If I just try and fill this as much as possible just to sort of show, yeah, it's getting heavy. I can hardly steer now. So you really have... If I lift my... You will see that I'm going to tip. Yeah, I'm on the... If I did this anymore, I'm going to teeter. So you really do have to unload... Oh, well, if this is my land, well, yeah, but it's not letting you do it. So, yeah, and you have to tip like that. It really is as if it's a stone picker, which again, it's just something to get used to. Is all, because you couldn't possibly. Yeah, well, I was wondering why is it not. Yeah, I was doing this, Why is it not untipping? I thought, well, because it is still a bucket and it will function as a bucket, but it's like primarily a stone picker, so it follows stone picker rules more than it does a bucket rules, but it will still grab other things too. But you will always, I think, have to like do like what we did there. Let's just try and like feel this a little bit more. Yeah, so that obviously a worker can't work with this. Yeah, it is just for you. But like for those who are, you know, it really, I personally think it's not a bad way to do this, really. And the 9 metre is going to be like brilliant. I don't know whether Giants would allow anything like this. We did have something similar though in FS22. I can't really see that Giants will be that terrible about it. That's not bad actually. That is really almost in the 6 metre. Just need to tweak my things a little bit. Just want to like get this almost full, just to sort of show how bad this would be if you like. You just cannot possibly. Yeah, it's struggling now. It's struggling to turn. Yeah, and again, the physics are about right. I don't know how the worker missed that when we were to the field. But I've got to be honest, I'm quite surprised, very nicely surprised. We're going to have an awful lot of stones. I still haven't fixed the amount of, yeah, the stuff we've got in the, I was obviously doing my editing first. It's only just as I've come in that I thought, oh, you've still not finished that problem. So, yeah, I need to grab. It'll be in the backup save game, or I can just go off what we had before and I'll fix that behind the scenes. Yes, now almost refusing to turn. I'd like to get this as full as possible though, just to sort of show how tippy this would get if you really went. The big one is even worse. It for the size of the bucket, it could like, but you'll never be able to tip the full amount out unless you do what I sort of showed, which is, I mean, this is only nearly 4 tons. Your weight would need to be absolutely ginormous to actually do this. I mean, and Giants have done the physics well. I've got to give them the due for this type of thing. It really is getting almost, I can hardly turn now. It's refusing to turn, and I'm only at like nearly 4 tons. Yeah. Now, if I like lift that now, I'm going to tip. Yeah. It's going to be one of those jobs, so you really need at this point to like sort of drag it on the floor and just do you like untip, which it will do at any angle. Just showing that I wouldn't do that really normally, but yeah, just for effect. I'm going to change the colour as well. I think I'm going to make it chrome, because I do love my chrome. I do. Yeah, so again, it's not far off. Once I've like tweaked this, I need to add a few more effects on the 9 metre, because it's only got the effects. In fact, even the 6 metres missing a bit on the right hand side. It's only like going to the wow. So why is it showing as it's full when it's only got a tiny little bit? It's only got 311 litres. They all do weird things like this, don't they? It's a bit strange. But yeah, really proof of concept. Once I've got this right properly, I am going to like, I'm going to stick it in the mod up as soon as it's done properly. Want to get my diffuse a little bit different, but it's not too far out. I think chrome, it will really look, it'll stand out as something quite special. I do. And obviously the work area needs changing a little. Not quite got enough for the side. Again, if I showed you the 4 is about right. I thought the 6, I thought I'd get away with it. As you do, you think, oh, I don't really want to like do any more. But I've got to be honest, each mod, to make it work properly, it really does deserve like that effort, because it's going to look silly otherwise. I'm beginning to get to that sort of stage where I'm wanting my mods to be, yeah, be professional, really. You start off, and I'm a bit of a terror for wanting to cut corners and like, oh, it will do. It's near enough, but you can't do that, and especially if you really are going to like release mods on the mod hub. And I do intend, that is one of my things. I'm insisting that all of my mods are friendly for my friends who are on console. We've got a lot of console viewers and always have had on the channel. And I intend on all of my mods being when I say all, there's bound to be some things that are slightly like not true, as in like, you know, there's a mod that you can't do something with, and if, you know, like as much as I possibly can, I'm aiming for console as well, for it to be crossplay. So all of these things, none of them break any rules about crossplay. Everything's all friendly and done properly. So yeah, not bad actually. I mean, we're covering some distance. This is a monstrous field, it really is. So that's why I thought the 9 meter would suit certain maps. It's as big as like Black Sheep Modding's beautiful bit of kit, but it's also terribly inexpensive, which it is really basically a bucket. So let's try to make this one look a bit more like realistic. So like, yeah, that is it. I shall send this one back and work on the 6 and the 9 meter, almost right. And I have got rid of that horrible thing that was attacking everything around. Diffuser's not too bad actually. Not too bad at all. I'm reasonably pleased with that. It's almost ready for release. It's have a bit of a... It's weird when you're in an i3D. You can't really see like how this type of thing is going to work. It sort of scales itself based upon the amount of metal that there is. It's quite strange how it works. But yeah, my grating's not bad actually. I was trying to think, because the one I saw in FS22 had grating similar to this. Obviously, it's allowing the soil to pass through, because this is what I was thinking. You're showing like soil coming in, and like all of them have got like spacers, but yours is just a bucket. So now it's not. It's more like a silage sort of thing, really. But it still is possible for it to like grab things properly, so it can still function as a bucket. But obviously, its primary function is a stone picker. So I really did just want to like sort of show that. So yeah, there we go. We've got plenty of stone, and we can pick the stone up when we're finished on the edges of the field, because it's going to be way too big for like, obviously it is it's sort of a new way of functioning, really. If you're going to use this type of thing, you're going to have to shove your stone at the side of the field and then like grab either book it into or really use something like our beautiful bit of kit where you're yeah, in a way I am linking my mods. Well, that was not really the intention, but it is true. It's you could really do with then something like our little beautiful tractor that's not really a tractor, this here, to really afterwards pick up this and stick it in your it really is. I think personally, like this or the fluffy mods would be the way to go, to actually grab your stones and stick them in your trailers. So really fantastic. Beautiful trailer drop today. Was it Hispano that did it? That's not, you'll not find it that way. I think I brought it in. Yes, the biggest trailer I've seen to date, and it is a whopper, but it is to me it looks realistic. I think it is Hispano, I was right. It is a monster, but really a 65 tonner would be. So, I think, yeah, and there's also like one fresh, but look at the sides on that. But it is a beaut for like real mass. Yeah, and then you can also obviously go for a 500 cubic meter one for those who wish to sort of like delve into that. But I just thought this is beautiful, and oh, lots of colours as well. Fantastic. Oh, metallic. No, I wanted to have a look. No, you can custom it, but I always find if you go to custom and like literally go for like metallic, although it says it's metallic, it doesn't look terribly metallic to me. So, yeah, it's a little, but not. Oh no, it's not too terrible, but it doesn't look like. Now I suppose it's not chrome. Really, I mean, there's a difference between chrome and silver. That is like more like painted metal, painted silver. But I'd love to chromify it. That'd be nice. So 93,000. This is very similar to what I'm trying to do myself. Literally to make a very, very large, something like a 70 tonner. So it's given me a sort of like an amount of scale to aim for. That has. I like that a lot. Yeah, this was the other one that is like the 55 cubic meter biggest. I have got this one on Rizu Forest, and that is a beaut as well. Yeah, no, it's yeah, fantastic bit of kit. It really is. So yeah, we are getting some real big monsters in at the minute. So yeah, I'll be grabbing the stone off with this when we're finished. I'm pleased with where we are. 283,553. We have put our cannery in. Yeah, and here's a view. And somehow I've got to like fix my cement factory. It's something quite a bit wrong with this. The pipes showing the smoke, and that really is a bit. This is a big one. Obviously, I've got to tweak the. And I've also got to like go. I think I'll quickly do that before I scoot. I'll grab the bits and bobs, have a look in the backup, and see how much there should be, and then stick that in. I'm going to do that. I think behind the scenes. So, yeah, I'm going to. This is an end or the beginning of the next session. So it's not like the end or anything, or it's not everything. I'll hopefully see you shortly. Right. Oh, yeah, Sally. It is not unreachable. It's got the actual harvester on. I mean, it couldn't harvest with it, but it has actually. I didn't realise it would pick it up. But where did I leave the 9 meter? I know. Oh, I think it's over there. I can see the white blob on the. It's abandoned now. Obviously, I've been a bit busy with this. I have done extra effects. We really do need, and this is like not me being silly now, that we really do need to grab the stones off the field. It's like the one job that's like really pressing that we've like. I know. I suppose in a way it's not, but in another way, it sort of is as well. So, but I keep forgetting I've got to really get this grabbed. So, yeah, it does look. Yeah, I've got a while to the colour. I'm going to make it chrome. I love my chrome, so and we do need to switch it on. So let me see. It should now be quite a bit different from you saw it a bit ago. I've done it again. I've moved from me. I could have done it, switched it on like that. So really, it wants sort of like lowering to the soil like so. So it's level, and that's a little bit better. It is right. So then. I've changed my work area. It should be pretty much. We've got rid of all of the horribleness. So, not quite low enough. But that's what you're going to get when you sort of like rush in, and it's the levels are like all. So, let's see. Can we? Yeah. So there's going to be a bit of like where I need to go back over it again. But again, you can whiz over fast. So I'm going to say my words. It does need doing. So I will see you guys and gals on the other side.
Let's go.
Now, normally I would try to do something different, but I've actually tweaked this, and I'm hoping it is right now. It's I could tell it was wrong last session where there was something missing. It wasn't quite right, but that's the nature of mods. But that's why I'm sort of this time doing something a little bit different. Oh wow, I've actually gone beyond. Yeah, I can see it's actually somehow I've switched something on, and the work area has gone beyond what it should. But it's working better. Yeah, but you can see it's sort of going beyond. So I've somehow turned on something too much now, and it'll do that. No, I know what it is. Yeah. It's now working properly. It was a bit of a struggle, but I thought this is modding. You never get it right in one go. There's always things that you've got to try that it doesn't quite work right. But then when you do finally get it right, it really is a fantastic feeling when it finally all works as it should do. And like again, animations, yeah, not too bad. It could do with another couple. I've got the stones and the animations. Some of them are a bit too close together. Yeah, I've got the middle bits. I want the two outer soils need adjusting slightly, and then the stones only come when you hit stones, so that they're almost in the same place as well. But I suppose that's probably as it should be. But you can now see that everything is right. So this is now going to become a really useful tool, because again it's going to fill a lot quicker as well. But it was struggling, it was missing bits, and I could tell it wasn't quite right. A work area wasn't quite right, and I was thinking, is it the animations, is it like where I'm doing it, or is it the work area? Yeah, it's actually, if anything, you're now going too far to the left. That shouldn't be really, but it is a struggle, unless that's the ground. No, you can see it's sort of like going well to the left. That's a bit strange. It shouldn't be. Unless I've done scale again, switch scale on by mistake. It's possible. Wow, this is filling up a lot there. This is getting heavy now. No, you can never convey to people, can you, what you feel. But this is feeling like it should do, you know, like where it's getting really heavy, and I'm struggling to... I do like the way it does this as well, like you've got to unload it and it does that, and then it's all back to normal again. So although this is 9 tons, you'd need the Incredible Hulk to actually ever get it to work at 9 tons because of the lifting. Obviously this is not the most powerful tractor, but it's not a weak tractor. It's 180 horsepower I think, or 210, or I can't remember I don't think we upgraded it. Now this I think is down to, oh it's not. I thought it was... Yeah, because there's a bit of a problem with the side of the field. I don't think... Yeah, you don't have access. That sort of proves my point. There's bits along here. I thought I'd actually got it all, but it's not. No, that's cheating, because it's really not on the land. It's a little bit like the phenomenon where you mow, and you're half on your land and half of your mowers off the land, you can sort of get away with it on contracts. As long as you're half on yours, it will let you get away with it. And this is the same, because that to the left is nowhere near my land. So this is more about it not being our land. But this is now very, very useful. I just need to tweak whatever that phenomenon is that's going well to the left, because it shouldn't be doing that. It's only to the left. Why is it always only to the left? No, it won't let me do it again because it's not our land. We need to go to the top of the field, which is our land. I actually quite like using it. It sort of adds that element of sort of realism of the feeling, which you often get missing with mods. You can feel when this is getting heavy, and it's hard to move, which it really would be. The physics are so spot on, as quite frequently are when... Yeah, I mean, I've got to give Giants a do for that. They are very good at that. It's, yeah, I'm spilling a bit, because obviously it's forming a proper little pile, so it's brilliant. So I'm going to go back into the timers, but I didn't want you to think, well, hang on a minute, now it's working, right? Yeah, well, it's now, I mean, I've like, I did a tweak of this just before I went to bed. And then, as I usually do, I've woken up in the middle of the night a little bit, and I always do a little bit of a Taz. And of course, I've improved it. It's not finished. You can see that somehow the cultivator effect, or it calls it the plough effect, but it's actually a cultivator effect. That is actually well to the left of where it should be. So I've done something somehow that's now not quite right. Yeah, wow, it's filling up a lot quicker. I suppose it would be. I noticed it was only using about 4 meters in the middle. You know, there was literally like 2 meters at each end. Now it's also like got an extension beyond about a minute. So this at the minute is more like an 11 meter, because it is going right to the end on the right. On the left, it's going about 2 or 3 meters further to the left than it actually should. It's almost like having one of those mods where it gives you an extra 2 meter pickup. Now obviously that's not by design, and it won't be like that. I want it to be a 9. I think any more than that, and I mean, it's not impossible, but it's already a struggle now. Then this is the bit where we don't own the land, so we need to go on the bit of a headland. Yeah, so I don't know what I've done to all of a sudden extend the thing well beyond the end of this. I did not do that intentionally. As far as I was aware, the end was literally at the end of this. It was just the work area that I tweaked, and it never used to extend beyond there, except for when I did the collision mistake, where it was actually got additional scale. As I did mention this, modders will understand and would be like clutching their sort of eyes in, you know, looking up to the sky and like going, oh, yeah, they all know what that would mean if your scale's wrong. It's like, it is a bit of a disaster. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, it's always disastrous, but not necessarily will it like crash your mod completely, but something won't be right if your scale's wrong. And it was like 2.144 or something like that. So that it should always say 1, a scale of 1, always. Fantastic. Yeah, these piles are much, much bigger. It's like, again, it's almost, I like it because this introduces an element. Not only is it like realistic and the weight is realistic, but this keep loading and unloading. You couldn't carry on to the end. Although I suppose it's different because you're filling it much quicker. A normal stone picker would take a lot longer. I mean, these are big stones as well, and there are a lot of them. I don't know if I've ever seen a field where you've got... No, I have. Yeah, sometimes FS22, the stones were really like this a lot. I'm not seeing it so much on FS25. The stones seem a bit better spaced than the FS22, which did very much look like what we see on the field now. So something I've done wrong. The only other thing I changed was the ground reference node. I put it slightly in the ground because I thought I was a bit high. Yeah, I noticed that I wasn't picking some of it. I thought it was my work area, which is the width and the height and all of that. In other words, like where I'm at, that I'm finishing grabbing the stones. and you'll get that on everything, whether it was a plough or a cultivator, or they've all got a work area, which I'm familiar with because of the BI 77 spreader and seeder, because both of those had got that, and I had ran into a lot of trouble with it. And it's weird, but because you do run into a lot of trouble with things, and you've got to face this problem, it makes you better, because like if you'd had everything go easy, you'd never really master anything. It's people are always afraid to make mistakes. I have said this quite frequently. Making mistakes is part of discovery. Imagine if the apple never fell on is it William Tack? I can't remember his name. The one who invented gravity. Well, he didn't invent gravity, God did, but what I mean is, the human being that first sort of said, in agreement with the fact that God had already said that he hung the earth on nothing, suspended the earth on nothing in the Bible, which was to say to those scientists later on, hundreds of years later, would basically say that obviously gravity, they gave it a name. Well, I'm sure, yeah, God wrote the Bible not really as a scientific textbook, but where it touches upon science, then it is very, very factual. But the bottom line is, what I'm saying is, if the apple had not fallen on his head, would he have ever, like, there's these moments in life where an accident like that can be amazing, where a forerunner of science who gave something a name, he didn't invent gravity, it always existed, and always been, but he was the one who sort of was allowed to put a name to it, and obviously is then becomes a very famous scientist, like many others that have done something similar. So I think that's the plough effect that I've somehow extended. I don't know how I did that, but I will have tweaked something. And this is the other thing you do as a modder. You like often tweak something and you forgot you've done it, and then like you think, you go in and you see that you've moved it, and you think, I moved that as well. I didn't mean to do that, but yeah, it's very much a. I've just about got the position of the flatbeds and my middle water tanker, both models I did completely and utterly myself. Absolutely everything about them is all my own invention, and they were the hardest of all mods to do, because I was determined I wasn't going to do the lights until I would finish with the model, because I knew that I would have to tweak the models time and time again until I got it right. Well, the last tweak I did on, we've got Moss Valley, I've got a few episodes done, obviously I'm hoping it's going to become a full Let's Play, but it may well be my short run to begin with. I might actually do that quite a lot. This is getting heavy now, I'm not being able to turn it very well. And again, that's what I'm saying, it's quite realistic. And then imagine if I lift it, it's going to want to, no, I've not got the right thing selected. Yeah, it's going to like try to collapse me in the ground, so I need to like find the edge of the field quickly. Yeah, can you imagine, we're only a third full. You really would need like probably Mack Trucker's Monster to actually do this. I am going to do more attachers. I'm going to do like a telehandler as well in this, not just a... but at the minute, it really is just this. And I don't know how at present... Yeah, there's obviously a lot of modders who do like where you can just change it between the attachers. I'm going to have a look at someone else's, see if there's a... I don't think Giants do it. It'll have to be... Yeah, I'm telling it how it is. There's a lot of modders, and I know this talking to other modders. There's a bit of a stigma that some modders like... they won't say that they look at other modders' work, but they do. Lambo says it's very bad form that you should look at another modder's work, and I thought, yeah, what, you telling me you've never looked at another modder? You're ripping models to pieces and you've never looked... Well, I'm going to be honest about it. I've literally sat at the feet of masters like Black Sheep Modding and Omatana. I've looked at their mods. I'm going to put it out there, and if they hate me for it, then to me, I pay them the greatest honour, because of all people, I wish to study at the feet of grandmasters, people who really were very good modders. Now, that's not saying that there aren't a lot of the modders are good, but I admire all of these. Rawley Christie, likewise, is a modder that I've looked at his work, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm giving all of 3 of those names the greatest honour of all, but I wish to look at their mods because I respect them. So I'm just being honest about it. I know a lot of other modders do, and a lot of other modders would say, well, look at that, because you're going to learn out how to do an animation that you want to like look at, then look at the work. That's the only way you're going to learn it. And it's true. How do I learn animations? Giants often hide things a little bit. You can learn a lot from giants, but they often hide things in meshes where you can't really see what's going on, whereas other modders don't always hide their work. They're just the same as me. I don't either. You could look at my trailer if you were a modder, and you could see every single aspect and tweak lots of things yourself and alter things, because I'm not trying to make it. I'm another modder learning, and as I'm going along, and other modders could quite happily, and I wouldn't be offended by that, because I would say it's part of your journey. I can't travel to Italy, where one of the big modders lives, or France to visit Black Sheep Modding, because I haven't got the time, and neither have they. But I can study their work, and so be a disciple of Black Sheep Modding and of Omatana. Just by looking at their work, I could see the things that they've done, how they did it, and all that type of stuff, which helps me on my journey to become a better modder, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Do I copy their work? No, I don't. No, I don't. Not even. I insist upon it. If I'm going to do a model, I will open a Giants one, which is where everybody gets their base models from, and then I'll tweak it. But I won't grab a Rawley Christie and I'll rip it to pieces and I'll have that as the base model. Now, I'm not saying I've never done it. Right in my early days, I'm going to be honest, because my conscience is twinging that, as if to, well, yeah, it is true. Right back in the early days, I did rip a model to pieces because I hadn't got the know-how. But then after that very time of doing that to a mod, I felt a tinge, and I thought, I really don't like doing that. And I did adjust it, and I've not done it since, because I learnt my lesson. I thought, no, I don't want to do that. It's not right. I feel very bad that I'm starting my model based upon something else of somebody else's, and it gained me the respect that was due to that modder, and sort of taught me don't cross that line. So yeah, I'm going to be totally truthful, because my conscience is like that, and I'm not going to be a liar. Yeah, I don't do it now, and that's what I'm saying. That's lesson learned. Yeah, we all make mistakes, and it was a mistake, and it's not something I now carry on with. But I will open a modder's mod, and I will look and see, oh, that's how they did that. That's how, they got that to work. Because how else will I learn? I'm not just going to have a eureka moment and learn everything. Again, there's a lot you can. The stone picker, it was all giants. I learned the stone picker principles all through the XML. Was there much in the mod desk? Not really. No, it was all in the XML. All the magic was in the XML, and the i3D. The sort of I knew I'd missed a few bits and bobs. Now this is getting heavy, so I need to offload it. These are big fields, they really are. But I knew this would make it, once I'd got this right, that it would make this a lot quicker. But it's this having to go to the edge of the field all the time and drop your thing off. It's obviously slowly, because it's a very big field. So yeah, if the fields were smaller, like a normal size fields, then this wouldn't be too terrible. I'm nearly finished though. I've only got a little bit left in the middle. Then I've got the other ones to do. But really, this was about. These are the biggest fields. And again, I did try briefly. I'll just show you what happens if you try to get a worker. It does that crashing and burning thing as if you're doing baling. Yeah, he just goes, hey, I don't know what on earth this is, mate. Don't ask me to take over because I haven't got a clue what this actually is. It's a front loader. They can't do them. Just like the baling. Now, I might be able to tell Courseplay, but again, Courseplay still has to have basic models, although often if you have it, this is like in the ground, often a worker can take over. So that is something I would try, because obviously it'd be the trouble is, it's the weight of the stones. What I should really do is not, the trouble is then it's, if I've grabbed straw, like 9 tons of straw, this is going to be a completely different beast. Yeah, that's going to be allowed. But stones are very, very heavy anyway, so really the stones are going to be like too heavy to ever get up to 9 tons unless I'd got a monstrous weight behind me. It'd have to be a proper, I suppose that it really ought to do that. Ought to design a set of tools that can work together, like Matt Trucker did with his monstrous weight for his tractor, just so as it works, because really each one of these models should be a finished model, and I've now set myself a task, and I can tell I have. With chatting to you, it's sort of like you get that eureka moment where you think, yeah, it's not finished, is it? You're going to have to do a special weight that goes with this, that sort of works with it to make it like real. Thinking again though, the only bad thing is if you put a 9-ton weight on the back, there's very few tractors that wouldn't collapse. And I suppose I know that's part of the fun of actually playing with a mod in it, and that's just to see what can I make work. You know, like how big can I go before tractors start collapsing, and that's the sweet spot, isn't it? Really. Very, could probably just struggle a little bit to get this last little bit. Yeah, even the turning, as you're getting heavier, it's hard to turn. You have to really slow down to get your turns right. I noticed it yesterday, but obviously in the time lapse, it's not hard for you. It is hard for you to know what I'm actually doing, but like it is a real struggle now to turn. But there's not a lot of. I thought I'd have to lower it up and down a lot, but I'm not. That's all about my work area. As long as this is like, I think really I'm at the lowest I can be. No, I am now. Yeah, now I'm low. Fantastic. Excellent. Now that was a bit. Now some of the fields haven't got an awful lot. So obviously the thing is, like real life, these little stone piles we're going to have to like grab. And we've got a lot of stones. I mean, again, because the fields are massive. Let's switch this off a second, and we'll go over to the other one. Let's just have a go, because I'd like to see a normal field like that's not so huge as this one. Because there was one of them. I think the canola fields had hardly got any stones, so they're just going to be a quick skip over. So it'd be interesting to see how long does it take a normal field from start to finish. It is 4:46 and 21 seconds. Let's have a go. You know, this is also adding another element to this, and that is the fact that it's not level. So this is a real proper test, because it's like in a wobble, and it's not going to be. Yeah, you can see it's skipping entire areas. Luckily, we don't need to be everywhere, because yeah, the stones are like here and there. Now this sort of is going to work with what the pioneering technique that I did on FS22, where you're doing this, where you're moving, because you don't necessarily need to. I mean, I'm not worried about the cultivating bit. I know it's a nice feature that it cultivates as well and makes it nice and flat, like seedbed prep, but I'm not worried about it. I'm only really trying to pick stones up. So yeah, and you can see where you bounce over them, because it's an uneven field, you're missing some stones. But to be honest, like all, am I totally worried that I've got every last one? I like it if I do, but if I just miss the odd one, am I going to worry about that? Not really. No, it's only as a rough thing. You wouldn't want a field like the field that we got now. That's when stones are bad, because they are supposed to damage you. I don't know if they really do, whether Giants did do that, work that in, that you damage is more if stones are on the field, or whether that was just, you know, like one of those things that was said. But I don't know when. I can't remember. I've totally forgotten what minute I said we started out now. Right. Let's see. No, that seems better inside. It seems to be more. Yeah, that, it's also cheating at the minute, like going well to the left. Yeah, the headlands seem to be much harder to actually get the stones right. This is now. Yeah, so it looks like the. I wonder why that suddenly started at 8, because it wasn't doing that. I got that right. The stony bit where it's like not. Now it's all of a sudden going to the left side. I must have switched a bit of scale on. Something like that, for that to be like that again. So it was not reaching anywhere near that before. Now all of a sudden it is. Yeah, you can see the difference again. On a field where the stone is scarce or sparse, you can see that obviously the weight's not going up very quickly, so I could probably do this entire field quite quickly and pick up almost all of the stone. Yeah, it's definitely better. That headland was, I think the headland's a bit bumpy, and it was like skipping, whereas now it's doing almost all of it. It's not missing much at all. So 2 big stones. Yeah, so this you could sort of do the bit where you like dart in and out, where you don't need to do all of the field just to grab all of your bits of stone. It's something I did in No Man's Land, where you like doing a lot of this. It's perfect as well if your tractors. Oh, I forgot the words. One of the bendy tractors that bends in the middle. You'll know what I mean. I just can't think of the words for the life of me. What do you call it? A bendy tractor. It's got joints, and yeah, you'll know what I mean. There's quite a few of them in the game. I know the word will pop. It's just, yeah, sometimes if my brain's tired, words are one of those things. Normally it does it Thursday, Friday, but again, it's middle of the night. Your brain's not completely awake. You're like on automatic pilot for quite a while. Let's see what time are we at? I don't want to be like going to, yeah, let's just get these 2 bits. No, it's still quite light. It's when it gets to about 2 tons, all of a sudden it becomes, you can feel that you've got the, you know. Yeah, so it's probably a tool, unless Courseplay or this ever becomes a proper mod that people actually use, that Courseplay may, well, I will try it. I will. It's interesting, because obviously the other thing is I don't think I've set the AI element up, because again, this was a bucket. It won't have that, so I really need to, in almost all implements, the AI has like a work area the same as you have a work area, and you need to sort of establish that, and I haven't done that, so the AI won't have a clue what this is. So really all I need to do is look at how that's declared on another stone picker, and then really this should actually work as a stone picker for a worker. Yeah, because it's only like telling the worker like how big it is and all that. Same as I've done for me, the work area. But it is different for workers than it is for yourself. So it's not a matter of just copying. So it's a matter of looking at the worker as something similar, like a stone picker, and then like just finding out, you know, like what you do. So 4:51. I think it's 4:47. So that's 4 minutes. It's taken us to do this field. And look, it is lumpy, really. I mean, I say this is JMGaming is one of the best map makers I know for doing really bumpy fields. He really does like his monstrous fields, as he often sort of says. So, yeah, I don't know what that is about. Why? Right, so it's 4:52 and 10 seconds we started out. Again, I'm expecting, yeah, the headland, you can see there's a bit of a bend on it, so I'm going to miss some of the stone on the headland. I might have to catch that on the second round, because you can see it's bouncing badly and it's not picking all of the stones up because of that. So yeah, I'm missing quite a bit, so we'll get that on the second round when we're slightly to the right. Yeah, you have to slow down and so you don't bounce, and then you'll pick everything up again, that's very, very uneven. I don't think that's going to work because it's just not even. You can see it's actually rising. Oh no, it did actually get it. It was just a matter of slowness. Because I'm bouncing above the work area, so therefore I'm not actually getting the work area. You'd have to stay very, very slow on this particular type of land. Now this is the worst possible kind of land for this, but it sort of does emphasise, like, well, you can see, look at the bend on that. I mean, it really would be in real life not exactly the easiest thing to grab stones off this area. If I actually, yeah, if you sort of stop and then go forward on the bit where the stones are, it does actually work. It's bouncing. Yeah, due to the... but I mean, obviously the strength of this is the fact you can whiz full speed, because it really is, it's the shape that's actually grabbing the... wow, the bounces are terrible though. Yeah, so to guarantee you're going to get this on this weird headland, then you really do need... I mean, look, we've only got 196 litres on an entire round of the field. Now this time we should do better, he says. There's a lot of bouncing going on, actually. Yeah, the shape on this is actually much, much more tricky. Yeah, really, this is... I won't say a problem. Obviously, JMGaming tries to go for the realism of, like, real sort of things, but it does cause issues with your farming. It is one of the few map makers I've known that where you've actually got to like, smooth his fields. But again, he goes to the realism, so it's one of those things that if you play on JMGaming's maps, you'll know you've got to do that. Is it worth it? Absolutely. He's a great map maker. Yeah, it is worth doing that. But I would imagine a lot of people get annoyed about it. I've sort of tried to like to him a bit. Well, you got to really try and do a little bit that the people want, otherwise, you know, like, people are all going to mark you down, and there are a few people who do mark him down for that sort of, for these type of reasons. So, but he is one of those people. He's not prepared to compromise. He does what he believes right. Now, if you're a modder, I think it's a dangerous thing. You've sort of got to, you're sort of doing a public work. So if you are, to me, you've really got to try to please the people that you're actually trying to please. Otherwise, why are you making mods? But again, we're all different. Some people are Oxygen Davids, and they're just not going to compromise what they believe is right. And will you grab their maps? Absolutely, of course you will, because they're grandmasters. Also, Oxygen David has been nicely surprising on Oakbridge Farm. He's made a lot of changes and a lot of things that you can now tweak, which is most not like the Oxygen David of the past. So I've got to be honest, I'm quite impressed, because I mean, I would sooner go on a Cavalier Roy map or a JMGaming, because they are really for the people. You know, their maps really are people pleasers, and they sort of do it so that you can sort of free reign. You can do what you like. If you want to move a fence, move a fence. It's one thing that's always annoyed me, because it means Oxygen David's maps normally are limited. Now, I don't think he's still bent much on that, but I can sort of get used to that. I could live with that one feature. If he allows me to sell the rubbish in the farm and stuff like that and tweak certain things, I'm quite happy. That's all I really want. But again, it's, in a way, I mark Cavalier Roy and JMGaming as sort of better mappers for the fact that they... we've got a better experience on their map, whereas like you often can't cut trees on an Oxygen David map, like and it's an annoying tree in the middle of the field or on the edge of a field. You can't move a fence and make another gateway in the yard often, whereas his last map, it's a lot more like you'd want it, where you can tweak certain things, and I was like, oh wow, this is a nice surprise. Now, to me, that's a plus point for a map maker. A map maker that wants to listen to the people who are going to have his map is a better map maker than a map maker who doesn't want to listen to like what people want. But you've also got to stay true to your vision. So just, you know, just getting that out there too. You know, like Oxygen David has stayed true to his vision of like map making for many a year, and I still admire that feature. which is why I would always go on an Oxygen David map. Again, also, certain ones of Oxygen Davids I've not liked. I don't mean, what I mean is I don't feel it. You've got to feel a map. Wow, we're not doing very well on the gathering of stone though. On this particular field that's like so bumpy, it's a bit tricky. Yeah, so again, it would do. Some people would be like, yeah, DJ Goham's map. And FS22, it's everything I hate. You know, when someone's stripping farming into, you know, I'm aiming for realism. So to me, that's just the pits of a map because it like breaks. It doesn't mean it is the pits of a map though. What I mean is, because I'm aiming for realism, to me that's the worst possible map. It is a brilliant map. So I just you know, putting that out there. All I'm saying is, I wouldn't go on it because it breaks my elements of realism I'm aiming for. And again, this you'd say, well, this is a bit of a... Well, yeah, it's sort of. It is sort of. You're just hovering above the field, it's holding in a certain place, and then it's scooping stones. And I've even made it look like that actually would happen now. So, yeah, I'm not sure about my filling. Sometimes it'll fill it completely with like one stone and it looks like it's filled, so there's got to be something else I've not quite done right, because it should know that it's only 588 litres, so it should have a little tiny bit in it. Most of the time it seems to do that, so I must have done something again. Why are you trying to empty? You're not even heavy yet. That's it. Just those finishing touches that make it on a flat field though, this would really be fantastic. Obviously this is very, very lumpy, so there are certain bits where you're going to have to slow down to actually get your stones off the ground. But obviously I am aiming for like the effects, the particle effects, to be proper. I mean, well, not the particle effect, the actual work area is at the minute for some reason going well beyond the end. What that's about, I didn't realise. I must have changed something literally by mistake, and I will yeah, I missed something before on this model. The 6 metre and the 4 metre I got right, but I missed something. The collisions was the reason I was hitting something outside, because I've got a scale on those well above 1, so therefore it was attacking things outside, because the collision's like a force field really. It's weird, coming from a science fiction background of like that being one of my favourite genres. It's weird how you would compare collisions to force fields, because it's just what you're used to referring to in like science fiction. It would be a force field, so whenever I say force fields in the game, it really is a collision. But yeah, again, coming from Star Wars, Star Trek and all those type of things, it's yeah, that's the way that I would explain it. We've still got that other field as well, I just need to do that. But to be honest, I think we're good enough for these monstrous fields. We really, I think, are quite do you know, we might as well finish this, haven't we? And I can sort of switch it off and like lift it above my head. I mean, you would really put this on a trailer, but we are very close to home, so yeah, this back road, there's no traffic on it. There would be in real life, but if I had lifted that above my head like that, would I attack? Only the biggest semis would I ever get with something like that. So, which is the best way? Right. Ooh. Why am I stopping? No vehicles ever come down this road. Although in real life they would, of course. Definitely. So then, let's get these little buttes done, and then we really will be a full house. We just need to grab the stones. It wouldn't hurt though if we left them, but we will grab them, because I can make lime and things like that from them. And there's quite a few. The mineral feed recipe requires stone as well, so that's it. And it's literally on the ground. So let's see on this perfectly flat field. It's not quite right. So you can see it's still skipping on the headland. So it's like the headlands are a bit bowed. Hence the fact that I can't always pick all of the stones up. It's bouncing over the odd one. So it looks like headlands might be a problem. yeah, for the bouncy effect with this, you might have to really go slowly, or do your second run and just come at these at the end. Yeah, that might work. Again, all tools, all good tools, have got a bit of a learning curve, I find, where when you first pick up, you think, oh yeah, it don't quite do that right. No, it don't, because it's going to be a unique tool, and I always think they're the best. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some that are like horrible as well, where it's totally not right and it misses bits. Yeah, there was the Forshrit tool that I watched, the Looney Farm Sim guy, and he's getting quite popular now. A lot of people are recognising his talent. I think he's very good, console or not. He's as a PC owner, I do watch his channel a lot. It's probably my first person, because I like his reviews. He's good, and I say he is getting popular now. When I first watched him, he got not many subscribers really, but his talent has been recognised, and a lot of people are watching him now. He's gone from like very few subscribers to like a lot. I mean, he's not monstrous, but he is getting there. I think as people more and more discover how good he is, then yeah. So he is. And he still listens as well. He actually answered me when I asked him a question once, which is nice, because DJ GoHam totally didn't answer at all when I asked him a question on his channel. He's too busy, I admit that. But what I mean is, it's a nice thing, especially the very first time you got a channel, if like the content creator, because they are only human beings like you. And, I mean, busy human beings, admittedly, if they've got a busy channel like DJ. But it's still nice to get an answer, like when you sort of speak to them, really. And I wasn't being rude or anything like that, where you think, well, you know, if I was rude, I would expect not to get an answer, or I'd expect to like get a retort and like say, oi, this is my channel, I'll back off, Buster. I don't want any cheek or chelp. Yeah, I like DJ. He's sort of from the opposite end, but I still like a lot of the news in that. It's a fantastic thing that he does, and I like that he tries to inform you, and then he is one of those first I'll go to, for the fact that he's quite informative, and the news aspect of his channel, all that is all. Would I watch his actual content? No, because he like will plough around corners and all of the things that I'll be going, ooh, no, he's ploughing around corners, and you know what I mean? We've all got things that some people love, that fact that DJ does that type of thing, that he like flouts the rules and all that type of stuff. And again, it depends on what you want out of a content creator, isn't it? Now, me personally, I'm not auto-loading. I'll semi-automatic load with like a semi-automatic loader, but I'll never auto-load. Apart from I did break that rule on Reedswood Forest when I got, I thought this is going to take me forever if I do these without an auto-load trailer. So I did, for the first time on the channel, actually go for an auto-load, because that would have taken me so long. I would still been there now, I think, many episodes later, and it would have been the most. You see, the golden rule, like, to me, really, is that Mississippi P always says something quite interesting, which is I create content that I'd watch myself. Now, I'm sort of going against that a little bit, because I'm doing content. Wow, I think we can do both things with what we've got on this. Well, we did say there's not much in this. Yeah, no, I want a record of the farm, which means with me I'm going to do some time lapses, because it's the best way, I personally think, to handle long things. I would not want you to sort of like take 2 hours with me real time to actually do some of these monstrous things that I've done on this. The most, usually they're about an hour and a quarter. It's still a long time, but that would have taken me 4 hours to actually do that hour and a quarter. So I would never expect you to look at it for 4 hours, but an hour and a quarter I will sort of knock that down to with the time-lapse sequence. But what it is, from start to finish, it's a record of each of the farms I do from start to finish, how I got to where I got to, and you're sort of with me on the journey. And again, don't make people watch every single second. People very rarely do. I know this, and I've always said it and respect that fact that people, which is why I'm now doing the catch-up stage, although I am a bit, doesn't always work on sessions that are too big and that you split in the end, because you're sort of doing the same intro like 3 times, and then it's a bit confusing to people, like especially someone new to the channel thinking, I'm sure you did this at the beginning of the last episode, and you'd be right, I have, because it's the same recording. So the bit that I'm doing at the end of that recording is really for like all 3 episodes, because I recorded it in one, and obviously you don't know sometimes if it's how you're going to split it. Sometimes it's only apparent after you start to put the episode together. You think, I want this to be one single element, so that it's like from start to finish the whole thing. But then Moss Valley, I did an episode and it was about 6 hours long. So that one I was like, oh, I can't split, I can't make this into one. Although I wanted it to be a single episode because it was a single event, I thought I can't possibly expect someone to sit with me through a 2.5 hour long episode. It's just way too much. So I split it, which then meant the summing up stage was for all 3 of those, because I recorded it over one session. So it was a bit of a weird one, because you'll come to the episode and you'll think, why have you got the same intro for these? Well, it was the same episode, the same recording was for that, and there's bits and elements of what I've done that actually are pertinent to that particular episode that you're going to be viewing. So it's a bit of a weird one. This has certainly taken a lot less time than it would have done with traditional Black Sheep moddings. Could have done the same, of course. And now the beauty of that kind of stone picker, I mean, of course they're much more expensive because there's a lot more to them, is the fact that obviously you're not feeling the weight because you're taking a trailer which reduces the weight. You can feel it a little bit, but the wheels and the shape of that are actually offsetting a lot of the weight that you would feel, whereas this isn't. You are feeling the weight of this the second it builds up, so therefore that's the disadvantage. But the advantage is it's a very cheap mod because it really is just a bucket, so they're not terribly expensive, so it's a bit of a win-win. And also you can use it as a bucket. It is like both things, but obviously when you've got it switched on, it is a stone picker first and foremost. That's it. I don't think there's any stones left actually. I think it's just the so other than the effect that's wrong at the left, I am not far off actually about right. But I don't think you'll, unless we do, as I said, the weight, I don't think I'll ever get 9 tons in it because it's just too. And so let's stick this with the other pile so we don't have to run a long way, because there's not a lot on this, the edge of this one. So we should see, I mean there will be a few bits and bobs left. I'm not pretending that I've done it perfectly, but I do like the way it pushes you back as well. Let's switch that off. And that is the 9-meter stone picker that even looks like a stone picker now. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chromify it. It's got the original grey. I suppose it's also a bucket though. No, we ought to leave it, I suppose, really. So if we now go here, because this is going to be a big session, and we look for stones, hopefully we shouldn't see too much stones on our fields, apart from obviously that one that's got some oh no, wrong way. Yeah. Oh, why does it switch the stone? Oh, I suppose it goes to the top. Yeah, there's not many other. Wow, really are. Apart from that, that's obviously now become around the silo, hence the fact you can't get to it. And I think I've got a row of carrots or something that's travelling down there. Now, I did sort of, and I think I've done it too much. I'd forgotten. I just saw the episode. Yeah, I missed. No, they were like bits of ploughing, I think, actually. Yeah, so nothing on that one. Oh, it's quite thorough then. Nothing on those. So, wow, that is quite amazing. It really didn't miss, I mean, very much at all. Although I've got to be on it. Oh, no, I think we just picked... No, there's a few bits and bobs on this. So, why is that not showing there? If we... Do you have to zoom in? No, that is. That's fully zoomed. That's saying I've not missed a single bit of stone. Oh, I'm going to switched it off, you Wally. I was going to say, I'm sure I missed the odd stone on that one. I did. You can see the bits of yellow. The bits of yellow. Now, they're the awkward fields. And look, it's mainly around the headlands. The odd one in the middle. Again, headlands, none. And the odd bit of red over there. So some, yeah, big, not much, but so yeah, I'm quite happy with that. For a stone picking, that's not terrible at all. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. Not bad. So we sort of got that ready to rock and roll for like sowing, which we do need to do some wheat to actually make this work. So yeah, so I'm going to try making the work area for the AI and see if that enables them to use this. But again, I don't think they can use front loaders, so I think it's going to be you, and you. But the advantage is with this, you can travel across that field at full pace. So, and of course the other advantage is it's 9 meters, and the other advantage is it's very inexpensive because it's a bucket. Yeah, so it's really it's a win-win. Obviously the shape of it would allow the soil out, which I was thinking when I saw it. I thought yesterday, I need to make it like the others, where it's got bits where the soil could drop out but the stones could stay in, and I've done it. That's really almost exactly as I would want it to be. The only thing that is a bit weird, although it is actually on the metal downwards, the BI things are a bit, obviously it was on a solid bucket, but it's now not. But it's not too terrible. I can live with that. It's not perfect, but then very little is. But there we go, the BI stone picker. Yeah. Oh, what have I? I know I've not. I don't think I've. Yeah, I've still stretched that. Yeah, the decal on that. So I need to. I thought I'd actually done that, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I did it on the 6 meter model. We could check this out. We could actually, if we go into the shop and see on front load tools, if you zoom in on the 3 models, which should now clearly say it should have 3. Oh no, we have. Apart from that, now that BI industry is right. Oh, it's still stretched. Yeah, it's still stretched. I'm sure I did do that, so I might need to completely do these. So the 6 meter. I'm not quite at the right place. Can I pull back? Yeah, no, they are all stretched. The ones on the sides are better than the one at the back. I suppose what I could do, it's not necessary to have the one at the back. The ones at the side don't look too terrible, actually. This is the biggest, the 9. How bad does that look on the side? Not too terrible, actually. It's the ones on the back. So what I might do is get rid of, I don't know, I think it's the same sticker. It just warps it on the back with that red and white sticker. So I don't know whether if I got rid of the red and white sticker, it's, yeah, so I'm slightly in the wrong place. It's slightly below ground level, which is why it's doing that wobbly bit. But once you've obviously got it out in the real world, and those prices are right, that is what you will pay for them. So I don't think that's bad for a 9 meter stone picker. I think I would willingly pay 6,777. I mean, it is obviously longer, and it is really a massive bucket, but it is really a monster. That I don't know many people use it as a bucket, but it is a bucket, as you can see from all of the, yeah. And this is 6,777 again. It is a monstrous bucket. And that one is a 4 meter, but I've still yet to say that it's a 4 meter, but it is. Yeah, that's the best one, but it's still stretched on the back. So yeah, that's what you get when you do what you do, because you're stretching the diffuser, stretching with it. So yeah, I should have done it a different way, really, and stretched elements rather than the whole shebang. Yeah, it's not as easy as I'm making it sound, though. You do have to do things, otherwise it breaks if it's rigid body. So yeah, you've got to be careful on your way you do these things. You need to know certain things before you start doing that, because when I first did it, I broke mods. Yeah, I'd like to you have to do this here, do that there, untick this there, and then you can. It's just a model. I thought you had to keep going into Blender, but actually you don't. Yeah, and which I'm not sure all modders actually know that, but you can tweak the model in Giants quite a lot. I'm not needing to go into Blender. But if you stretch most models, you've got moving parts and you're going to break them. So there's only things like this that are simple models that you can really do that and get away with it, because otherwise you cause yourself more problems than a little than if you went out to Blender and then came back in. So yeah, it's you win some, you lose some. Simple as that. So that is the end of this session. All that remains to be said. Now I'm going to leave this one linear because it really is just about stones, and we've gone through from start to finish. We've done all of the stones on the farm, and that is just one event really. So that it'd be silly for me to like say, well, what did we do this session? Well, we picked the stones on all the fields, and that's it. So why would I bother like doing that as a catch-up stage? Because it's take me 10 seconds to record. So this is a linear session, so I've got to do that sometimes. It makes no sense to do all of them like completely differently. So yeah, so all that remains to be said then is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this and other journeys, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.